Hey guys, you're welcome back to SNS Kitchen. You're very welcome. If you are new here, a warm welcome to you. Okay? So guys, on today's episode, I'll be teaching you the exact way you can prepare dry pap. That is Akamu. Okay? The dry pap can last between 6 months to 1 year without losing its flavor and taste. Yeah, so if you want to know how I made this recipe, please stay tuned and keep watching. And to start with this recipe, I'll be needing this yellow corn. The corn we get here in Germany is kind of different from the corns we have in Nigeria, but notwithstanding, they give the same result but kind of different texture. Okay, so over here I'm going to introduce water to that, and I'm going to cover this plastic to rest here for 4 good days, 3 to 4 days till it ferments. And this is 4 days later, guys. The corn is done fermenting. Next step, I'm going to wash this off behind the camera, and I'm going to move over to the blending process. And that's it, guys. I am done with washing. So next I'm going to start the blending process. I'll be needing this blender of 1200 watts. Make sure yours is above 800 watts, okay, so that it can blend very smooth. I introduce water to that and I'm going to blend this very smooth. Guys, if you're using commercial blender, you don't need to add water, okay? So I'm done with that. I'm going to keep on blending till I exhaust all the corn I have in the bucket. And finally, we are done with the blending. So it's time to start the sifting process. So first of all, I'm going to tie my chiffon cloth on this bucket. If you have cheesecloth, it can serve as well. So I'm going to tie that at the bottom and I'm going to be shifting that to the side to make sure my bucket balance well. Okay, when I'm done, I'm going to introduce our corn puree on top of the chiffon cloth and I'm going to start the sifting process. And while sifting, I'll be adding my water gradually. This is to make sure it sifts properly. So guys, when I'm done with this portion, I'm going to go over to the next portion till I exhaust all the corn puree I have. Yeah, and when you're done sifting, this is exactly what you're gonna have. You're gonna be left with the chaff. Yeah, feel free to waste the chaff. We don't need it at all. Okay. And finally, we are done with the sifting process. Next step, I'm going to loosen the chiffon cloth and bring it up gently to squeeze out the chaff on top. While doing that, please do that gently, okay, to avoid that not getting back into the bucket. Yeah, and that's it. I'm going to cover this bucket and let it sit here on my countertop for at least 3 to 4 hours till the main pap settles beneath. And this is 4 hours later. It is done settling. At this point, I am decanting the water. And when I'm done, this is the puree we have here. So I'm going to move over to the next stage. And next stage is to introduce the corn puree into the muslin bag. If you have cheesecloth, please make use of it. The essence of introducing that into this muslin bag is to make sure it releases the excess liquid. Pap is meant to be very, very thick. Okay, so to achieve the thickness, I'm going to place my mortar on top of it and let it sit here for 3 hours. And this is 3 hours later. I've achieved the consistency that I want to have. And this is the first method. We are done. This particular method can last for just 2 weeks to 1 month if stored in the freezer. Okay, so I am moving over to the powdered one. The powdered one can last for 6 months to 1 year if stored in an airtight container. So to start with the drying process, I'll be needing my dehydrator. If your environment is very sunny, please sun dry yours, okay? So I'm going to be drying this for at least 12 hours. Yeah, so I placed my dehydrator to 12 hours and I'm going to be drying this under 70 degrees centigrade, which is about, call it 140 degrees Fahrenheit. if I'm correct. I don't know. So this is 12 hours later. It is dried already. So I'll move over to the next step. And moving on, I'm going to make use of my dry mill to blend this into a powder form. So guys, please make use of commercial blender if you really want to have a smooth powder. Yeah, so I'm done with blending this. I sifted behind the camera as well to get this powder. Please make sure it's well sifted to avoid having lumps when making yours. And this is now the main time to enjoy this our processed pap. So I'm going to introduce water to the thickened one, and I'm going to make that first. So guys, I'm going to dissolve very well till it appears very smooth. When I'm done dissolving, I'm going to introduce my boiled water to that. Then this one is ready. I'll introduce my milk and the sugar. If you want to enjoy yours with honey, introduce your honey at this point. Yeah, so that's it for this particular one. And I'm going to move over to the powdered one to show you that you can have your pap in a powder form. So you don't need to stress yourself every week processing pap. No, with this dry one, you can make pap just once in a year if you make much, okay? So I introduced my water, I dissolved properly to make sure it is well dissolved. When I'm done, I'm going to introduce my hot water to that. And here you have your pap. Very yummy, and I love the consistency. Guys, I love the powdered pap because it doesn't lose its taste or flavor after the process. So guys, that brings me to the end of today's episode. Please help me share this video if you find it interesting, okay? Until I come your way next time, remain blessed. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye.